Bad news this morning for hundreds of thousands of people in West Virginia.
A chemical spill in the Elk River may have contaminated the drinking water. A federal investigation has been launched into how this happened.
State and federal authorities are working around the clock in Charleston, West Virginia.
9 counties are dealing with a chemical spill. It contaminated the water supply. Up to 300,000 people are being told not to touch the tap water. At least 5 were treated at a hospital. Jesse Schaefer of our affiliate WWK is in Charleston.
Charlie, Nora, the chemical began leaking from a hole in a storage tank in the facility behind me. The Department of Environmental Protection is still trying to figure out how that hole got there and exactly how much of the material has leaked out. Some reports have said as much as 5,000 gallons has leaked into the water.
If you get it on your skin, you'll get a skin rash. If you breathe it or drink it, but especially I think breathe it, it'll irritate your nose, throat, upper respiratory tract.
Crowds filled stores in West Virginia Thursday night, stocking up on everything from water to ice. Demand for the items so high, shelves were wiped clean.
As residents of West Virginia line up for bottled water, many like Chase Tavares want to know why there was no state oversight of the chemical company that contaminated the local drinking water.
As a precaution, the health department ordered all restaurants and schools impacted to close.
The water is out. There is no water. Do not use your water.
I was live on the air when the governor's first tweet went out basically announcing that this had happened.
A sense of uneasiness to begin with, because most people understood that it was going to be a while before this really had any sort of conclusion.
Rivers are a huge, huge component of the West Virginia landscape.
This came from the governor's office, and it is a do not use order.
Hashtag H2OMG.
I think what a lot of people maybe wondered at first, is this just a boil water advisory? We get those all the time. And it quickly became clear this was not a boil water advisory. This was something much more serious.
When I first found out about the water leak, I was actually in Ripley working for the day, and it was on Twitter. I just checked briefly, and there was a proclamation from Governor Tomblin that said, do not use the water in Charleston.
Water is extremely valuable, and we just often take it for granted because we have so much of it. We're rarely under water stress in terms of water quantity stress.
It's one of the best examples I've seen of the way social media very quickly engages large numbers of people and can give quick snippets of information, updates to a continuing story in a very effective way. Our staff, our reporters, their families, many of them, I think nearly all of them, they lived in apartments and in homes where they didn't have water either. So this was a story that they were covering, but they were also experiencing firsthand. And that was really important because I think it added an additional sense of urgency to the way the story was reported.
No one was prepared for it, but also trying to fathom what it was like to be completely cut off, to not have an appropriate supply of drinking water. When the all clear was called, we were pretty early adopters in trusting the water system again, because we are so close to the source that we felt that flushing was going to sufficiently get it out of our pipes in the short term.
We would monitor our social media accounts, we'd monitor Twitter, we'd monitor our Facebook account, the comments that would come in from our viewers, and then we would verify it with our trusted sources in various departments at both the state, the county, the local level, and then we'd be able to share accurate information.
I think one of the difficult things when you try to compare any natural resource like water to another natural resource like coal or any mineral is that the economic value of water spread across so many different facets of life that it almost gets, pardon the pun, but it gets diluted. You know, its real value gets diluted.
You know, the first shower that I took after everything had been flushed, my skin did feel a little raw, would probably be the best way to put it. I mean, not bad, but definitely you could tell there was a little something not right, and the soap didn't rinse properly. We have switched to bottled water, drinking and cooking, and we also have a tabletop distiller in case, you know, we can't get to a bottled water supply.
Now, moving into the future, there is no question that the value of water will only go up. as we continue to pollute waterways and as we continue to have increased demand for that water. One of the very unique things about this part of the world, though, is West Virginia is one of very few areas in the region that's expected to get more rainfall in a future climate.
In short, it was a mess. It was a mess. I was lucky. I had water.
What we saw from that chemical spill is that when we don't have water, it creates a serious, serious situation, and not one that's just, environmentalists care about it. Everybody cares about it. Citizens care about it. Businesses care about it. It's wildly important to us. We realize it when it's gone.
I don't know that we'll ever trust the city water system in Charleston again.